on this computer. All right.
Can you make it bigger than this?
I think he's shared multiple screens. Let him do his thing.
Already slid.
There we go. All right. All right, we got everybody here. Welcome. It's a nice meeting. Nice. We got any new people? Oh, there we go. Got new people. All right, so if anybody goes on band and say they need to get in, please send the stuff. Right, can you admit Yuri? Thank you. All right, so welcome to the 2023-24 season. We're gonna start with our introductions and our welcome. So just, hey, this year we're really going to do something fantastic. It's gonna be great. We're gonna do our welcome first. This is what the agenda is gonna be. We'll do a welcome introduction. We're gonna talk about the merge. We're gonna registration, schedule, teams, coaches, code of conduct, plan time, injuries and concussions, understanding disabilities and the point system, and then we're gonna open it up to Q&A. All right, you guys got that?
Real quick. Whoever's with the prep team in there, do they know we may run long and they might have to just kind of hold on to them for a while?
They'll be fine. They can just come.
Okay.
Yeah, Alex will be here all day.
Okay.
All right. So welcome. I'm Keith Wallace. I'm the executive director of Lincoln Way Special Rec. I coach several teams this year. I hope to not have to coach so many. We with the coaches that we're going to get from Synergy and all of that, that is going to be great. Adriel's back there. He's the recreation specialist for adaptive sports, all of our adaptive sports, not just wheelchair basketball. So that's that. And we'll go around the room and then introduce yourself and who's your kid. So we got some new people online, some people don't know, and then we'll go on to the online people as well. Starting with Mike.
Jim Spalla, Austin's dad.
Christian Morales, Ava Morales' mom. Heather Fred, Peyton's mom. Tasia, Cameron's mom. Joyce, Austin's mom. Kim Dana's mom. Tracy Lopez, Camden's mom.
Jeff Bonema, I'm Brooklyn Bonema's dad.
Elaine Ava's mom. Kristen James, Tommy's mom.
Joel Garecki, Zach, Noah, Eli, Libby, Leah's dad.
It's a whole five there.
Linus and Greta, Avocadus step, mom.
Nathan Paris, Jonathan Paris's father.
Okay. Anybody online can go. Adriel, you can start asking them to go one by one because I can't see them on the screen.
I'm Benjamin Parakis. I'm Dominic's father.
I'm Jennifer Wilson. I'm Violet's mom.
I'm Meg McNeila, James's mom.
I'm Laura Marshall. I'm Zaylen's mom.
I'm Curtis Lease. Will be one of the coaches this year. Friends call me Gus. That's what you see on the screen here. But I'm looking forward to meeting y'all.
Nobody can see. Oh, there it is. I'm learning. All right. So.
John Butel, Drew Butel's dad.
Justin doesn't want to be on video.
Yeah, I know he's trying to go to mute. That was Justin. He's looking forward to a new season.
I'm Sid Hamad, David's dad.
Who else is there? Anybody else online?
Matt Trainer, Ellen's dad.
Hi, I'm Lyudmila, Yuri's mom.
Yuri's mom.
My name's Jeremy. I'm Nellie Meinhardt's
Dad.
I think she just said that she can't speak. I think we got everybody.
I'm
Rob?
Robin Ward, Ethan's mom.
Mhm. And Chloe.
Will and Donna Johnson, Chloe's parents.
Sweet.
I don't know why.
Okay. All right. I think that's everybody there. Sweet. Let me go back to. Yeah. All right. So next thing we did our introductions. So next thing we want to talk about is why the merge.
I kind of like it. Yeah, it's all right.
I'll let that sit in for a second. I don't know what to call it, but all right. So many of you heard we are merging with the Bulls this year. And a lot of people are asking, why are we merging with the Bulls and why that? You know, obviously to become a better team, we need the best players to be on the best team. So that's one reason, because I want to win. The second.
We lost audio on Zoom.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that.
There we go. It's back.
Sorry about that. So I'm gonna let that sit in right there for a second. That's what we said. But why the merge? Well, there's a lack of players in Illinois right now that are coming in. So the Bulls have been hit last season. They were able to compete, but they lost some players, which left them down with 4 varsity players. And then our varsity players, we have about 6 or 7. So merging will make it best for us to compete at that high level and also be able to build a second team to build into that high level. So that's one of the reasons for the merge, to build more teams. So like I said, you will see that we will have 2 varsity teams. We will try to do 2 prep teams. We will try to do this, but it is up to you guys to find more kids. We have to be actively looking for kids. I want to put a disclaimer on this, that this is temporary for this year. All right, this is temporary unless we need, and we'll revisit it next year. If we, right now the registration happens this way. The Bulls players register with their team, we register with our team. All right, the goal is to help the Bulls build a team so they can be back to the Bulls and have enough players to play. So we're asking their coaches, their administration to come over so that relationship is not, so it's built, but they'll have their players to go away and then go back, and then it'll still no feelings hurt, and try not to make a super team in years to come. That is not the goal, to keep a super team. That is not the goal. The goal is to help build more teams. If it works and if it's successful, the administration, the director over there, and myself will talk, and we'll the director over there, we'll communicate and see if that's something that we want to continue to do long term, and see how that works out for the best both programs. So that's kind of where that is right now. We would like to give kids more playing time. A lot of parents here, they travel and they want to play. So with that said, you have to understand 2 teams, we're going to put your child in a position where we know what they're going to play the most, and get the playing time. So there'll be a competitive varsity A, varsity 1, varsity 2, and then there'll be a competitive varsity 2, varsity prep 2, but there'll be more of the development teams, and we're planning on traveling them, and that's up to the parents if they want to. We have to have enough committed from this meeting, from the time we make this schedule, that you're going to travel and you're going to stay. If not, it's fine. Prep, we can have a prep 2 team that stays local, and we will schedule all local games. We'll schedule Skyhawks, Energy. They'll still play games, but it won't be a travel team. Varsity 2. So if varsity 2 wants to just be in here and just go local, we'll schedule as many as we can, but we need a full commitment to do this. Some of the teams may be like 6 or 7, You know, there's not a lot of players, so it's a commitment for us to do this. And you have to understand that prep 2 or prep 1, prep 2 and varsity 2 may have to take some lumps. All right, so it's not going to be a lot of winning right away. All right, but they have to develop the skills, and that's the goal, is getting somebody to be that person that's going to be that #1 dribbler, that #1 scorer, that #1 picker. So we need to develop that in the player too. Those players on that second team would be the individuals that necessarily haven't seen a lot of game time, so they're not prepared to do this. So we want to teach them so they can be the next generation of those individuals. We want to help the Illinois teams compete at a high level. If you've seen Kansas right now, they were able to compete at every level, and they're actually playing because they're developing, and those kids are playing up and they're playing and they're able to do it. That's because they have one team in Kansas, you know, and all of them filter in. They have Kansas 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they break them out that way. It's kind of what we want to do here. Share resources. Synergy has a lot of resources. We have a lot of resources. We put it together. We can dominate resources as in coaches, you know, funding, fundraising. We can do a lot of things together to build this to make it go really well, because it's going to be a pretty expensive season. And then I just put why not. So we'll open it up to questions afterwards, and you can answer some of those later online and everything. So registration. Registration. So many of you have started seeing that registration. It is the out of district is really steep, but I did put a disclaimer in there that we are working with different SRAs currently to make that cheaper. So if you reside in a residence that's in South Suburban SRA, Southwest SRA, for Lincoln Way, Southwest SRA, NWC SRA, and then LWSRA. Those are the 4 that filter into us. You do get that in-district cost of the 500 or whatever. I'm sorry. Yeah, the 500. Out of district would be 680. All right. So what does that fee incorporate? So that fee incorporates mostly tournament registrations, NWBA registration. So with all these teams, we have to pay that. So before we even dribble a ball, each team is pretty much $1,500 out the door with league fees and all of that. So that covers that, staff on the tournaments and things like that.
Team NWBA registration, not individual player.
Yes, yes, we didn't get to that. We'll get to that. Yeah, so you're into, so yeah, so that's the team individual fee. The individual fee for yourselves, you'll have to pay that, and that's coming out later. That's coming out later. When that comes out, you can't do that until we register as a team. I told the NWBA that we needed to wait for us to have this meeting before I register 4 teams, because that's a commitment. You remember, it's $1,000 per team. So if y'all say we don't want team 1, team 2, team 3, I don't have to register them with the NWBA. All right. So I can just have 2 teams. We could separate and play some tournaments that's non-sanctioned as that team 2. But if you want that team 2, if that team 2 gets good and wants to go to the tournament, we're gonna have to pay some money. So either we do it or we don't, and we be done with it and don't have to worry about it. So that's 4 teams right there. Give me 1 second. Both of them up there. Yeah, is he there? Is he now? Did you take a picture? All right, so yeah, so that's that. Don't let that fee scare you. We go all the way to May. So you can play in installments. I know it's a lot, it seems like a lot, but don't let it scare you. We do fundraisers, you can pay. I sent out links of how you can get the app. You should apply for the Challenge Athlete Foundation grant, but we will wait, and you just have to put 25% down, and then you can play. All right, so that's that. So now for the kids that, say for instance, you can't make it, life happens, and you still want your kid to go. If we have to supervise, it's $40 additional per night per kid for that tournament. So for us to provide supervision for your child, it's $40 per night per kid for it. All right. So that's kind of how it works. That's kind of how we'll do the transportation. We'll do that for you. So that's included, because we would have to get another staff. We may have to get another hotel room. That works out for us, and it's worked really sweet. And that's the same thing for adults too. If you play on our adult team and you want to come to our tournament, it's $40 per night per tournament. So that's what it is. That's extra on top of that. So and it's worked out really well. I don't know the synergy fees. I didn't get a chance to look at it. So Phil he's going to be here. He's finishing up a program that he's done, but you guys can figure that out. But hopefully it's similar. But the synergy people are registering with synergy. So whatever their price is, whatever their price is, and then they'll filter us and we'll figure out the back end things of how we're going to pay and all that stuff later. All right. All right, so these will be the links. I just put them up there. You can go back. I am recording this. So the NWBA Winks, the junior individuals, you'll be on this, and the junior adults will be on this. So that's where you go when you kind of register. They probably already sent you an email. NWBA likes to do that prior to us doing anything. So if you didn't get an email from them, spam, but we haven't registered as a program yet. So it'll ask you what team you are on. You probably won't be able to see that just yet.
And if they're playing on both, they gotta register twice, right?
Yep,
But
yep.
they pay one fee?
Yep, 1 fee. So that's a good thing. So like if you're playing on so Zach plays on multiple teams. He plays on Zach and Noah plays on 2 teams. Austin does too. You only play 1 Lincoln Way price. So if you want to play 1 Lincoln Way price, Synergy would have to pay 2. All right.
Not NWBA.
No, you pay once. You pay once. Yes, yes. But for the registration, like say for instance, your son want to play on our adult team as well, you would have to pay Synergy and you have to play there. So Ava plays on our juniors and she plays on our women's team. She only has to pay 1 LWSRA fee. That gets you all the way through. Prep, varsity, you only play 1. All right. So if you're on prep and you want to play on our varsity team, we have to talk about, you have to play, the Synergy would have to pay more if they wanted to play on our adult team, because we haven't negotiated that. Okay. Tournament, the master schedule, we do have a master schedule already. It will have your tournaments that we want to go to, the things that we want to do all year. We have a pretty robust schedule. But remember, we have to add the adults in there too. So there's not a lot of tournaments, and people are changing tournament dates. So like UWW just changed their date to the 2nd week of January. All right. So that caused a ripple effect of a lot of other tournaments that we were going to go to an adult tournament in January. So now we got to find somewhere else to go and we're trying to get everybody a tournament once a month. So varsity, everybody try to get 1 tournament. The juniors usually get more because there's a push for the junior teams, and the adult teams are getting left like in behind, but we want to try. We do have all those divisions here. Everything will be on the band app. Our band app is the most important thing. If you find a mistake on the band app, just email us. It's probably just an oversight. We will fix it right away. But the band app is kind of where we're going to do our communication, where we're going to do our talking. We'll post some pictures there. We'll do everything there. That's been helpful for us. We separate it by team, and it's just been a great tool for us going forward. So we plan on having 7 teams. All right, so a varsity 1, varsity 2, prep 1, prep 2, a women's team, a minis team, D2 and D3. Minis team is automatically on one of the prep teams. So they'll be automatically on prep 2. So mini can come to prep 2 whenever they feel like they want to come. They have uniforms, they can come, and they can be on the bench. And if they're good enough to play and do that, they're more than welcome to come. Prep can play varsity. Varsity prep cannot play adult. varsity can play adult. And prep and varsity can play on women. All right. So D2 and D3, they can't play on interchangeable. So your kid can play on that if they want.
What is, yeah.
D2 is adult teams.
Oh.
So it's the level. So when you go up, you start doing Division 3 is your intro. It's like your older players that's aging, and then it's your intro players that are coming up. D2 is typically your some of your college students that are coming back, getting into an area that's moving them up. So like, for instance, we have Thomas Duffy coming back. If Thomas Duffy was to play on our Division 3 team, they would probably move us up to Division 2. All right. So that's just where it is. So since Thomas is coming back, we're going to create a Division 2 team so he can find some players to play there, so we can still build into that feeder system that we hopefully would come back one day. And now we would like that. So D3 has a lot of unfinished business to take care of. And this year we're gonna take care of that business. So with these 7 teams, I project our prep team will be in a championship game. I project our varsity 1 will be in a championship game. I project our women's team will be in a championship game. I project our D3 would be in a championship game. So that's 4 out of the leagues right now that we have the skill and the ability level to be in 4 championship games. All right. Just a note, I've seen that championship trophy right in front of me probably like 8 times, and I don't have one. So I want one. I want one. It's a glass ball, if you've seen it, and it's got a black base and a silver plate that say champion up there. Okay?
They've been close.
Yes, it says champion on there, but I want one of them in this building this year. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go through where we project the players will go. This is not final. This is not solid, but we're just going to put that up so you guys can kind of see where we are. So in some kids, I might have forgot some kids, but we'll get there later. So the minis team right now, we have Ellen, Ethan, little Ethan. We have I don't even know, this from Karina from Synergy, and we have Sophie. That will be our mini team. And I know we have about 4 or 5 more minis. I just couldn't remember who. Bailey is probably going to go up. So Bailey can stay on minis, but she's probably going to go up. So give me a second. So that's that team right there. And those teams will be coached by Justin, Colleen, and Adriel. So you guys know those individuals. So our varsity 1 right now, this is all right now is preliminary, put them on names, will be Zach, Noah, Austin, Ava, Chloe, Peyton, Drew, Yuri, Jonathan, Gabe, and Nelly. All right, so that would be prep 1. That would be prep 1. Varsity 1, excuse me, varsity 1. And yeah, that's a huge one. And then the coaches would be Gus and Thomas. All right, so that's Gus and Thomas right now. Thomas Duffy has a job, so he's trying to figure out where he's going to be on that. Varsity 2 would be Charlie, Eddie, Ethan, Camden, James, Cameron, Dom, Zaylin, and Maddie. Our prep players that would be moving up to play on the varsity 2 to give them an opportunity to go. They won't go straight to varsity 1. And like I said, this is not etched in stone and we can move stuff around, but this is where we are right now at today. Yeah. And then the coaches will be Adriel, Phil, and Macy on varsity 2. And this is enough to probably compete. Varsity 2, they can compete at the NIT and be a really decent team at the bottom 16 of the NWVA. So prep 1 would be Cam, Dominic, Zaylin, Bakaris, Ava, Ellie, Brooklyn, Elwood kid. I'm still trying to find, that's you. I'm trying to find this amputee. And then Makai is the one that said he was coming, but we haven't seen him yet. This is being recorded. So just so you know, this is what we think right now. So that prep on that Eli is Gorecki.
Oh, that's Eli and I, okay,
I thought it was Ellie too, in my mind. I remember now when I looked at you, that would be prep 1, Eli. So I know what you're thinking, but we can.
No, I'm not thinking anything. I'm thinking like Cam and Zaylen, and if you're on prep 1 and varsity 2, what's gonna take priority of these? We'll get to that.
Prep 1 always takes priority over varsity 2. Okay. Prep 1 always takes priority over varsity 2. So that's that. So prep 2 is Libby, Leah, Dana, Ellen, Bailey, Ethan, Violet, Henry, Alex, Ellie, Dahlia, Mariah, and Eddie. So now some of these kids can move to prep 1. But we have to go with that. Hey, do you want to sit on the bench or do you want to play? So where do you want to go? Do you want to sit on the bench or do you want to play? Because some of you guys will make it over here and some of you guys won't. All right. So that's prep 2. Okay. And the coaches there would be, these are, I know, so our Billy that coaches adults, that plays Ryan and Justin, Colleen, and Burns. So we're still,
prep 1 again? I missed it.
oh, Alex and myself.
Okay.
So all right, so D2, you really don't need to know all this. This is I'll have a D2 and D3 meeting. I just added this in there, but these are some of the players that'll be around. D3 will be Drew, Zach, Chloe, Brendan, Alex, Jeff, Paul, Billy, Boomer, Brian, Colleen, Eric, Stephen Fugger, and Matt. So a really large team.
You want to win a D3 championship.
Yeah. So, and then our women, you guys don't need to know that. So that's kind of the coaches in a nutshell right there. Yeah. You want to see the women? Now, I'll tell you, our women, able-bodied women can play. So if you would like to play on our women's team, you're more than welcome to suit up and come join us. Women, you can play. Yeah, so they can have able-bodied women can play in the women's division. So if anybody wants to play, they can play. If you have a kid that wants to play, just bring them along to practice so they can play. All right, so those are the coaches. All right, code of conduct. I know. We got to have a code of conduct. Adriel, do you want to go over this?
Yeah. So we have a couple of different code of conducts, one for parents, one for athletes. This one right here, pretty time to see it. We'll have some hard copies for y'all to hand out, have you sign. All right, no anyone going crazy on the sidelines this year. But for parents, just kind of read it and kind of respect that we want to keep our players on the bench. We want to keep them focused on the coaches, what they're saying. Okay, our coaches are there for a reason. They're there to guide, give all the best advice they can on the court, off the court. So if you're on the sideline in the coach's ear, in your player's ear, it doesn't really help us out there. Okay, so that is going to be our parents' code of conduct. We'll get the hard copy soon, and athletes and coaches will get one as well. And we're all going to sign it, and we're going to live by it for this season. Sound good? All right, there's another one behind after that.
And with that too, we want to learn what to cheer and what not to cheer on the sideline. Identify what the coach is, the strategy that the coach is trying to implement, and it may be different from what you're saying, but ultimately the kid is going to listen to their father or mother because they want to please you and they want to please us, but it puts them in a weird situation. So if you get on the same page as the coach, then it makes it a lot easier for us. You know what I mean? And that's all we're asking. Just get on the same page as what they're asking. And sometimes
offense or defense, and don't get involved in what they're supposed to do.
Exactly, because that even I'll tell you, with me last year in Harmony, I had to get on the page with what she was saying with the kids because I might have been telling them to do something totally different than what the coaches was doing or what the coaches was telling them, and now they're confused. You know, they're gonna listen to me because I have a really loud voice, and they do, and I lead a lot of the practice, so they want to please me as well. So just make sure that you are engaging, but knowing what the coaches want out of the players at all times. All right. And then we have an athlete code of conduct. It's kind of similar, same. Adrian will go through that. We'll pass that out for signing later. So make sure you guys adhere to that. One thing we don't do is disrespectful kids. I don't like disrespectful kids. So if they're being disrespectful for me, I'm going to let you know your kid's being disrespectful. And if they're sitting on the sideline, I'm not going to be disrespected by any kid. So that's not you'll always hear me. They'll say my first name is Keith. My first name is not Keith, it's Coach Keith. I'm not any of their friends, and I've been saying that for years. I say, excuse me, what's my name? And I don't like them to hear them calling their parents by the first name either. So if you do like your kid to call you by your first name, just let me know, because I think that's really rude and disrespectful. So some kids do that. That's not, I want to be called Coach Keith or Mr. Wallace. Those are two things that they can call me. I hate, that's my grandfather, but Coach Keith is fine. Keith kind of just, if somebody calls me Keith, I'm just like, so all coaches should be called Coach Adriel, Coach Keith, Coach Alex. It's respectful. Playing time. All right. So yeah. If you're trying to get a scholarship and your kid in the 8th grade right now, then we in trouble. So that's what I'm saying. So I fully think all your kids can get scholarships to college. All right. But that's not going to be awarded tomorrow unless it's Zach, unless it's Chloe, unless it's Austin, unless it's those kids that are in their junior and senior year. Yes, there's coaches looking at you right now. They're looking at you right now, but you're not getting a college scholarship right now. So plan time. All right. Your kids need to know how to do a few things even to get that playing time. You know what I'm saying? They need to either know how to score. They need to know how to play defense. They need to know how to pick. They have to know how to communicate, and they have to give me effort. All right. That's what they have to give. All right. There's 500 was like, if you put that into number sakes, you get 500% of that. Each player gets 100%. So if your kid can't talk, doesn't pick, and doesn't play defense, they're probably not going to see a lot of court time. Okay. It's plain and simple. All right. If I have two kids that are the exact same people, then they split that 50%. They'll split it. I'll give an example. Austin and Noah, pretty comparable. I can have one of them on the court at the same time. They're comparable. The one person that starts scoring more, that game may stay in more. The person that doesn't may come out. It may flip-flop the next game. Who knows? But they all, if they're at the same spot, they're going to get that 50% going into game to start. Okay? So now, prep one, if we have Cameron plays well, so he's probably going to see how much. He's probably going to see 95% of the playing time, right? That's one, so I only got 400 left. So Cameron, Dom, and Zaylin, they probably going to see 300% of that, close to 300% of that time. So now you only got 200 to split between how many people did we say that was on that team? There was like 9 or 10. All right. So they got to split that time, because I got to keep these 3 on here for us to be competitive, because it's a competitive league. Got it? It's competitive. All right. With the top 16 teams in each division go to the national title. The top. So if you're playing on Prep 1 or Varsity 1, you have to understand that. If you're down here at the bottom, you have to teach your kids how to score, how to play defense, how to pick, how to communication, and give me effort. Effort will get you up there too. If I see you pushing, I will get you in there. All right. So that's kind of how I see the playing time on all levels. And it should make sense. All right. 24-hour rule. If you pissed off that I did something or said something, give it 24 hours, because I'm not going to talk about nothing for 24 hours. And if it's still that important to you, set up a meeting with your coach first, and let's talk about it and discuss it. We've had heated conversations. We have heated things, but I'll give an example. And Mike, at the first tournament of the year, I was like, calm down. This is the first tournament. And, it was like every year, I was like, well, we learning. And by the end of the year, where were we? By the end of the year, we were, I said, give it 24 hours, we'd be good. But we settled down and things worked, and we were second place in the nation. So you just nothing's really that serious yet. We have to fix. You all will get scholarships when it's your time, but you have to be ready. If your kid can't do any of these, that ain't coming. Okay? Especially this. If your kid is not playing defense and does not know how to pick and does not know how to communicate right here, those are the three most important things to me. Picking, communication, and defense. All right?
And sportsmanship is important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Whether they're playing or not playing, they all gotta be.
Yeah. I don't give any percentage points for sportsmanship. No, just kidding. We rate the way we teach our kids is good stuff. So we teach them, you may see other teams reaching and doing that, but I don't teach that at the mini level, because if you teach reaching and all of that at the mini level and the prep level, it turns into fouls a little bit later. Yes, they may get a couple steals, they may get a couple that being aggressive, but that is going to turn into fouls later, and it's going to teach them bad mechanics and bad things later. So you never see us get that ball reach, unless they're fast enough. Okay. So if you ever need to be reminded of that, that's how I do it, and that's how we're good. And we make an attempt to get every kid in the game on each level. But if it's a tough game, you've seen that sometimes the time can get away, and your kid could give up 5 or 6 points soon as we sub them in the game, and that could be the difference of winning and losing. And this is competitive. All right, so we try to. So understanding the disabilities and the point systems. So I put this slide in there because we have to understand all of us have kids that have disabilities. That's why you plan. Some of our kids learn different than others. Some kids don't have learning disabilities. Some people have, we'll say a lot of people have shunts, and a lot of those kids learn a little differently than a lot of the other ones. Some maybe have autism. That's their secondary disability. So we have to understand that in the team aspect, when I'm asking them to do something or the coach is asking them to do something within 45, we got a 45-second timeout, that ain't all getting processed. Okay, so when we go over there, they're all getting their water bottle. So now we only got 10 seconds to get a play. So when you're on the sideline saying, why are they doing this? We just trying to get them a break, calm down, relax. But if we trying to draw up a complicated play, that they're not processing. Not all of them are processing it. Give you an example. We called timeout. We said, roll the ball. They roll the ball, called timeout. What did you do to timeout? Well, they processed in practice. We practiced that in practice, and they called the timeout. So they burned one of the timeouts that we be using later on in the game. So it's all that stuff that the coaches have to learn, how your kid learns, how we can teach them for them to understand and get 5 on the court that understands what we're asking them to do at that point in time. All right. And that's it. And that's it. And the moment we get them all to say, aha, I got it, then we probably be much better than what we are. But remember too, our prep kids are 10, 8, 9, 10, 11-year-olds. All right. So we got some that can, some that can't. So we got all different disabilities. The minis, there's no classification. The prep, there's no classification. We play anybody. Varsity, it gets complicated. All right. So varsity, there's J1, J2s, and then J2-4s. All right. So that means everybody has a class system. So Miss Sue is our team classifier. So you're gonna look at your kid and say, J1. She's gonna look at your kid and say you're a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. And then we have points in between that. I mean, not 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So she'll look at you there. Between that classification, you go into for juniors as a J1, J2, or J4. All right. So ready? If you're an amputee, above the knee, probably going to be a J2-4. All right, unless you got other conditions. All right. If you are a spinal cord injury, any spinal cord injury, probably going to be anywhere between, you're going to be a J2. All right. J1 is the closer to the brain your injury is, you're a J1. So T7 is usually the break. T7 and up, you're probably a J1, probably. But there may have some people that have a lot more ability level. Cerebral palsy, J1, okay? Because you have all, depends on the type of cerebral palsy. Yes, she would be a J1, all right? So all that matters is how many points we can put on the floor at one time, all right? So when we're doing these division of teams, if I got 6 people that's J24, so a lot of them ain't gonna get playing time. We're gonna go back to the playing time slide, all right? We go back to the playing time slide. So it's all to keep it fair and balanced. And then sometimes it's like, my kid is this, my kid is that, my kid that I can't fix what they classify you as, because they have people in yellow shirts and orange shirts that watch the games when she played varsity. They give you a classification. Miss Sue can give a proposed classification. You will get your classification, and wherever you fall in is wherever you fall in. We can fight it. We can argue about it. We can talk about it. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Sue is going to do the ethical thing for us, and we're going to play fair. And that's how we go. We could cheat, but we don't. Other teams, yes, may not play like we play. We play fair because it's for your kids' benefit going forward. All right? All right? So, and when you get to college, you may change anyway. So they do things. So adults classification system and women's classification. All right, so for women that play adults, they go down a full class. All right, so women that play adults, they go down a full class. You cannot, if you're class 1, you can't go down to a 0. No 0. So for varsity, if you play a woman, you get another point onto your thing. So because we have Ava, Chloe that plays, we can play another point, but we can only play 2 J24s at one time. I know.
So if you're an extremely disabled woman who's really, really good, that's golden.
Yes, yeah.
Play all day long.
Yeah. So that's kind of that. So if you need help with that, sit down with me, because I know it's a lot and we deal with a lot, but knowing how to coach with that information, it's a lot. It's a lot. Having people on there, make sure we're getting everybody on there and going and staying under points is good. So you can, understanding the junior classification system, you can go here and read up on that. There's NWBA junior classification system. NAWBL is a little bit different. We're only having a tournament this year, which we did last year. There's no league, there's no nothing, but it give us more opportunity to play. CDC concussion protocol guidelines. This stuff is up here, so we are going to look at concussions. If you see your child hit your head and we say we got to sit out, then we need to work on that too. So that's really important for us to understand the injuries. If your kid is hurt or doesn't feel well, let us know so we can plan accordingly and go from there. Phil just came in. Phil, hi Phil. This is Phil from Synergy. He'll be running stuff too on that side. Fundraising. All right. So everybody, even the Synergy people, can set up a fundraising account through us. You set up this fundraising account. A lot of our parents have done it. This is your money. If you just cannot afford to travel and you can't do this, set up the account in the lieu of birthday gifts or everything. Set up that account. It'll go in there. When we're registered, when we're booking the hotels for us, and you're going, we will book that hotel and you could use that money. All right, we can use it. But if you want to stay at the 4H somewhere else, we can't use. We're not in the travel agent business. We can get another room where we're staying. You can stay there and we'll be fine. But you can use that money for that. Any money that goes into your Hawks Bucks, you could use for registration here, or you could use for tournament stuff. And I would suggest you do one so we could start raising money for nationals, because we'll get to that. PE Takeover games. We'll keep you updated on the band app of these PE Takeover games. There's going to be several. We're going to assist Synergy in the ones they do, and they're going to assist the ones that we do. Now, PE takeovers during the day. I know Zaylin is homeschooled, so she took advantage of this last year. She's out of school, so she came in and helped us facilitate a few PE takeovers during the day. or assemblies or things like that. And she was able to get $25 into her Hawks Bucks account for the day. Those schools do pay us $350 to go, and this is how we do a lot of extra stuff with equipment and things. We put that in there. So we'll do that. Super Bowl squares, we don't really touch that. That is a parent initiative, but Sue will help with that. We usually have Super Bowl squares that we get kicked off, and that's a great addition to the help us supplement some of the stuff for nationals. So helpful hints during the season before we get to question and answers. Practice on your own. If you see any spelling mistakes, I'm sorry. So this year I am going to start doing some individual lessons before school, after school, when the gym is available. You need to contact me, and you need to, and we'll put that up when I'm available. If you have a gym that's close to your house, and it's within distance and within reason, I can come to a gym and do some of those things for you. And we can do that. We can talk about it individually. But you need to practice on your own. We practice once or twice. If we have a tournament, it's once a week. That's not going to be enough. We added the home court, what's it called? Home court app. Home court app that's have drills and activities. I want the kids to at least get 100 shots up a week. All right, 100 shots up a week. So you need to download that app. If you got a basketball hoop in your backyard, you got something, they need to be getting 100 shots up a week. No, it should be for everything. What do you say? It's not? It's just for iPhone? Oh, well, sorry. Sorry, you non-iPhone users. Hey, that's what I got. Watch film from college games. If you want to get better, you watch films from college games. Learn how they're picking, learn how they're communicating. That's got to be on your own. Learn how to pick. Your kids need to learn how to pick. Like Cameron the other day, I'm sitting up there like, you know how to shoot, but you can't pick. That's not going to help you. You know, it's not going to help you. They got to have thick skin, because I'm going to call them out. Everybody can shoot pretty much. All right, we're going to work on that 100 shoot, but you have to learn how to pick. All right, you have to learn how to play your role. Shoot, this is big. You know, this annoys me. I saw 3 balls walk in the gym today. Shoot the ball that you are going to be playing with in the game. We use the Spalding rookie gear ball for the prep, and we use a different ball. Which ball we use? We use the Molten for the varsity. All right. Especially before the tournament game. You want to be able to feel the laces. You want to be able to get in the groove with the ball that we're going to be shooting. The ball. Yeah, so it's a Spalding rookie gear ball. All right. Prep is a 6. Yeah, size 6. It's on Amazon, but it's a Prep rookie ball. You can go look at the balls we have out there. So we did buy some extra balls, so we had some balls, but we make sure they're the same weight. But for a game, I will not let them shoot. Look at you. And you smile.
Right for it.
The one outlet in the room you going for. My goodness. Wow. So the rookie gear ball. So before a game, please don't bring no balls in before a tournament. You can bring in some practice, do that, that's fine. But when we plan a game, we put on a uniform. Let's have them shooting our balls. All right, so they get the feel. They're a little heavier. Our ball's a little lighter, and they do that until they change it. That's my suggestion. They need to be getting in their chairs as much as they can and moving and learning. So if they're in the parking lot, if they're at home, have them put some weights on the bottom of their chair. They need to be faster. One thing we can teach speed, but we can't teach it one day a week. All right. If we're faster than everybody out there, then it's just semantics. If they can't catch us, if they can't catch us, then we're going to be better than everybody just because they can't catch us. All right. Get at least 100 shots a week. Join the app and learn how to do maintenance on your chair. Do not come to a game asking Adriel or myself to change a wheel, change a tire, do all that. Let's do that. We got Thursday. We can do all that. You can come early. We can fix all that. We can take all the hair. Who has dogs? Clean your casters. I bet you if you clean it out right now, it's probably this much hair. All of that affects all of that affects you being able to push fast. All right. So learn how to do maintenance on that. And it's at least just take the hair out of the tires because there's usually a lot when we go in there. All right. And then question and answers. All right. We already kind of talked about that. How will we? I kind of thought of some questions y'all were talking about before that. How will we determine who's on what team? We kind of did a preliminary thing, and then we'll go back, maybe in a few weeks we'll go and we'll figure that out later and see if anybody needs to move up. If parents say, hey, I really don't want to be on the team, I really want to be on this team, we'll make adjustments, but that's how we'll determine who on the team. All right. How will national work? So for LWSRA, we typically fundraise to cover one hotel for each player. So that's how we've done it. So throughout the season, we really hustling, raising money, doing all these games so we can cover full hotel for one player. This year, flights are in play. All right. So my goal is I want to raise enough for that as well. But I don't know. That's going to be hard to do. We're going to have to really pump it. We're going to have to really do it. But we will raise money for the hotels for sure for one player. But we really want to try to get that flight per person for one flight. That would be 5 flights for you, and I don't know how you're gonna do that. I can do it too.
No, but I'm just trying to do the math. And if we have enough people going with parents, family, whatever, I mean, maybe Southwest would like charter us a flight. I don't know.
Only have one direct flight, then they.
I have contacted Southwest to see if anything they can do because we buying 1,000 flights and they are not friendly.
Okay.
So our best thing is to really try to get on those flights early. We will be looking at it. Miss Sue is really good at that. So we'll say, hey, they got flights right now. Let's go. And you need to buy it. When it comes cheap, you need to buy it. You need to be ready.
Maybe we can petition Taylor Swift and she can buy it.
That's on you. That sounds like a task for Team Mom for me. There you go. But yeah, so that sounds good. But fundraising, if you know any companies that will, sponsor us and we put Southwest, we'll put whatever company on the back of that's going to be a hefty price tag. And then, yeah, so it's just going to be hefty. What can you use Hawks Bucks on? You can use Hawks Bucks on registrations, hotel stays, like we said. And if we earned enough, we can purchase your airfare when we start getting our flights. So if you have enough on there and we have it, we can do it and we can go for that. And now let me tell you, if we earned enough in your Hawks Bucks you can do it for your kids, for you too. So like if you have $1,000 or $2,000 in your Hawks Bucks, just hey, I want to use my Hawks Bucks for the flights. This is where and we'll do them at the same time. All right. So that's going to be a lot of coordination, but we're willing to do that too. You can use your Hawks Bucks on that. And literally set up the account, tell people to send money in on behalf of your child, and then it'll be sitting there for you to use it for whatever you want to use it. Like we talked about this a little bit. What does your registration cover? Coaches, hotel, facility costs, team registration, and equipment and uniforms. Uniforms we will get. So the blue uniforms we probably will not use this year. So we're gonna use the black ones. We're gonna order new black ones for the new people. It's not gonna look the same on the front, but the whole jersey will look the same. So it'll probably say the black one will say Synergy and it'll say Bulls. Or say LWSRA, but it'll be the same jersey. Our red one, we'll probably get a red one or a gray one. I think a gray one, and then that one will say Bullhawks or whatever the heck we want to, whatever we settle on in the next thing. So yeah, so we'll go from there. So we will have black shorts. So black shorts will be the norm. So get black shorts, whatever black shorts, plain black shorts will be what we want. We're probably not going to order some shorts because that's going to be a little pricey. but black shorts will be what we wear with the black uniform. So that is going to be the start. And then we'll order the gray or red or whatever we do a little bit later. We'll do that once we figure out who's on whose team and what sizes we got. All right. So now I'll open it up for questions for anybody. I know that was fast, but we recorded that, and we'll start with Tasia.
As far as practice, I know since we're merging, is it going to be here? Are we gonna have sometimes closer for people for synergy out there? Like, what is the
So,
practice?
yep. So Phil and I talk on Thursday, one of these days. We talked on Thursday. So for right now, all practices are gonna be here. So practices are not gonna be up north until the time that we may do a special practice or something in Glen whenever they say, and then we may use that as open gym or whatever based on. But right now, the easiest way based on conversation with both groups is to come here and we'll have practice here. So for all the synergy people, also, anytime you want to come, call. If the gym is open 3, 4 o'clock, usually that's a sweet spot. You can get some extra shots up. I know it's a distance, but just call. We can work that out. Saturday, Sunday, yesterday, nobody was in here. We could have had, you could come and get some extra shots. You just have to call me for me and Asia, so we know to come over and open and help out with the team. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Quick question. Are we gonna have Sunday practices? This is to get that. Are we gonna have Sunday practices, or I missed it? I'm sorry, or is it just Thursday?
Yes, we have a full schedule. We have a full schedule. Question was Sunday practice. We'll have a full schedule, and Sundays will be on that schedule that we have. Only reason we won't have a practice on a Sunday if we have a tournament or if all of the adults are gone, but we tried to work that out where, somebody can be here, myself or Adriel can open them up. We'll probably give Phil and Gus a key so they can open up. We just have to work on that system of how we're doing it, just in case. We have a lot more coaches than we ever did, so we can do some unique stuff. There may be an opportunity where the adults are gone and varsity 2 just has a game somewhere else, and then there still can be an opportunity for practice. So they're like, people can be gone and we still can utilize the building without everybody being gone. So we just have to kind of figure out how that goes throughout the season and if we want to do that. But Thursdays are locked in stone. Sundays are depending on if we have a tournament or something, Saturday, Sunday, like it's always been.
So it says equipment and uniform. What is the equipment part mean?
Tires, tubes,
You'll supply.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that because it's expensive. Yes, it says equipment. So we budgeted probably, I put in there roughly $25 a person. A set of tires are $40.
Right.
So that don't cover that. So we have some stuff, but we can't just keep going through everything. So occasionally, like we may ask you, hey, chip in $5 for that tire because we're low and we need to re-up. So if we just kind of keep the kitty going, then we don't burn through all of our stuff. We have emergency stuff, tires and tubes, but that stuff.
So 40 per set of tires.
Yeah, I don't know right now. I have to see because it's going up because there's not a lot. There you go. Yeah. So.
So sorry, I'll speak on the equipment part. A lot of that's just the minor stuff that the straps, the little nuts and bolts that didn't make minor adjustments. That's what that's covering, because some of that's our little private stash that we have. So we're putting that out there. So that's what it's covering as well. So any like minor adjustments we make on the chair, fixing straps, lost straps. So when we lose straps, that's heavy because then we have to pull it off another chair. So keep all your stuff together. Won't have that issue, but tires and tubes, like we'll work that out, but probably none of that stuff is on y'all.
Yeah, and it's just it adds up. So we will Lou usually gives us some we put in and he'll buy it for us. Lou's one of our foundation members. He'll buy a bunch of stuff for us and we kind of get us through stuff, but it's a lot.
Just to piggyback off that, is there a list that you guys can put together? So like for prep tires for, I don't know, 24, 26, like what we can purchase ourselves in regards to extra supplies, like just we'll have it. And like in case we traveling, we'll have that. So is there possibility?
So one thing that I like for right now, look at your child's tire. They should have a full tire. Let me word this right. If they're very competitive and they're starting and they're playing a lot, they should have a spare tire. All right, so they should have a full spare, not a tube, not a full tire where we can just go straight to and put it in. We typically bring some spares, but with 7 teams, we won't have a lot of extra equipment to bring. We'll probably have, at the tournament, we'll have 125, 126, and maybe 124. So while we can put this one on while we fix that one and get it on and off. So that's kind of the system that we run.
Tube and tire, but no wheel. Wheels get real expensive.
No, we have a full ready to go wheel. So if Zach pops off, we can just pop that on so he can keep in. We usually have that in the back. All right. So you want to have that on your own if you're competing and you're planning on going to the next level. If your child, and I'm be honest, if your child doesn't push hard, doesn't play hard, that probably won't. Don't spend that extra money. All right, don't spend the extra money. You can order, yeah, you can get an extra wheel from Performance. What?
The synergy, just opening this up, the
Yeah.
synergy, bringing equipment, I mean, what do you guys normally?
We'll have something similar. We try to bring, a tire or two as well.
Tire or the whole wheel?
The whole thing is out on it.
Well, no, that's what I'm asking you, like the whole wheel, so boom, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we're NASCAR, they take the wheel
Yeah.
off, they put it in one.
And if there's somebody out there that would help us, so what I've discovered over the last few years is as bicycles are getting fatter and fatter tires, it's getting harder and harder to find the skinny tubes like we use on our wheels.
So you want to order those from Eagle. I can put the thing. So you don't want to go to a bike shop.
And they size them differently, and not only, but it's hard to find anywhere other than online anymore.
Yes.
We'll put a link out with all like the primary tubes I give.
That'd be
Everyone
great.
can look at, if y'all have questions, come find me, I'll tell you exactly what this.
Like
your
I got a
time is,
26.
your tube, and if you wanna find it, buy it online, I'll tell you exactly where
Yeah.
it goes, so you have no questions.
Based on the size of the wheel,
Yeah.
the tube you should buy. That'd be
Yeah.
great, because it gets very confusing. You know you're buying the right thing.
Yep.
If you don't know how to size your kid's wheel as well, we'll talk about it, we'll do a
Yeah.
little intro.
All
Yeah.
of that is in your chair maintenance. Learn how to chair maintenance, and we will do that. Your child needs to do it. Your child needs to learn how to change their own tire too, because that's very important.
And air up their tire.
Air up their tire.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Okay, if we determine as a group for the different teams, like the varsity 1, varsity 2, prep 1, prep 2. Like you were saying, the varsity 2 team would have a chance to go to the NIT possibly for that. How would that work with some of them being prep and some of them being varsity? Like, how would we, like, because of scheduling, like,
Yep.
how would we?
It would be, you remember the Kansas kid coming out, racing in after a game. So if they're playing at 1, we have to make that decision. Like, hey, the game's at the same time, you'll play and hopefully we'll just have to work that out.
Okay.
But I think the more kids we get, I think it probably won't be an issue. But that we'll just have to cross that bridge when we come to it. And so. Mhm. All right, any more questions from online? All right, well, I'm really excited. I know Phil is excited. I mean, this is good. I think this is a great building to do something great. Maybe it will last longer than this, but like remember that this is for this year. And we'll evaluate how it went after this year and move forward there. But I envision us having more prep teams. I envision us having more varsity teams, because the more kids we get, the better they'll be if they're out there playing and having a good time. So go Bullhawks. No, I don't know what it's gonna be yet, but all right.
You said the link to this will be on band?
Yeah, I'll put this on band. I'm gonna stop it in a few seconds. That we're not there yet. we would love to be there, but we're not there yet.
Okay, so I'm sorry. First tournament is still going to be late October. At least we know that.
7 through 9.
Yeah. First tournament is tentative October 7th and 8th.
7th and 8th.
Yeah.
Where's that one?
That's gonna be in Indianapolis. That's tentative because I don't know what they haven't confirmed. I haven't seen any registration. I haven't seen anything.
Kind of
So,
soon.
yeah.
Yeah.
None of them.
So just get in your minds, maybe October 7th, October 21st.
First confirmed is October 21st to the 22nd. That's first confirmed. That's in Turnstone, Fort Wayne. That one's confirmed. All right. So let us do our work and talk to the people out there, and then we'll finalize all this, and we'll go from there. And we'll let you know. We'll put it all on band for you to see.
We're going anywhere new this year?
Michigan.
Possibly?
Michigan. So yeah.
Hey, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
So like when you have something like prep 1 and prep 2. So at something like Turnstone, will there be 2 different games there, or how will that work?
So if we can get enough confirmed for prep 1, prep 2, varsity 1, varsity 2, then all teams will be going to each tournament. So I have already talked to the tournament of Turnstone and said we may be bringing 4 teams, and they said that would be fine. We just have to find that time. So yes, but like I said,
Okay, so
it's based on everybody's commitment level for going. Like,
okay.
Yeah, so if we can get enough to go, then yes, we'll take 5, and then that prep team that's there already could filter in and still play. So we have to get 5 confirmed that's not on prep to go so they can play. And then if those other prep kids wants to come up to varsity, then that'll give them a couple more until we find more kids.
Okay.
We need.
So in the meantime, even if we only had 1 prep team, like Violet could still go. She's just kind of the way she was last year, like kind of a B player.
Yes. If we have one prep team, then everybody will be on that prep team.
Okay, cool.
Everybody will roster everybody, but just know that that's going to be really tough to get to in 36 minutes to get 38 or whatever, to get 16 players in a game. That's going to be nearly impossible. So people are going to be upset with the playing time by driving all the way to Fort Wayne or Kentucky and their kid didn't play. And then we're going to start getting people coming to me saying, well, I'm not coming. And then we got that morale. So
0 times anything is what? Come on. Hey, Keith, I have a question.
Yes.
Hey, about practices, I may have missed this. You guys are talking about Sundays and Thursdays, but has it been determined what time and when practices will be?
Yes. So those prep times will come up on so I can say that right now minis practice will be 5:15 to 6. Prep practice, this is on Thursdays. Prep practice would be 6 to 7:30 on for prep practice. And like I said, prep players can stay and practice with varsity so they can have a little longer practice. Varsity practice will be 7 to 8:30, and then adult practice will be 8 to 9:30. So that's on Thursdays. On Sundays, there's no mini practice on Sundays, but minis can come to prep. That's 10 to 11:30 prep practice. On Sundays, 11:30 to 1 is varsity, and then 1 to 2:30 is adults. Okay, so that's Sundays, and it probably won't be all Sundays. It'd be the ones because sometimes there'll be a game or something. So we'll just have to figure that out. Okay.
That start next week?
No, that don't start next week. We need a break. This is the last day of open gym, and practice starts on the 21st, September 21st. So that's the official day that practice starts. But there will be dates and times where you can call and say, is the gym open? I'll be here. Adrian will be here. We'll come and work with your child, and you don't have to pay anything extra for that. All right.
So can varsity stay in practice with adults?
Yes, varsity can stay with adults. So what I said, and anybody you know out there, it could be any team you see. If you know somebody, they can always come and try it out and practice. They come more than 3 or 4 times, then they gotta pay. All right, so you know what I'm saying? Like I'll let them come and just, hang out, but then, we'll do an individual a $5, and it's usually just $5 if they want to come and shoot around. So, okay. All right. Well, thank you guys very much. If there's no more questions, we're gonna get in here to practice. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Keith, I just have one question for you.
Make sure you guys join the band app.
Can I ask you a quick question, Keith?
Yeah.
Strength and strength, like training strength, any sort of workout like that. There's nothing set up for the kids like that, is there?
No, we don't have a workout room. What we do is my practice is pretty intense when they come in, so we will be doing that. So we don't have strength and training. You have to do that on your own.
Fair enough.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Logging off.